Lockdown Workshop. I'm your host, Mark, and on today's video we have got a rather snazzy carbon aero wheel with no tyre. So this is a tub rim. For those of you who aren't familiar with what that means, it's tub. Tyre stands for tubular tyre, which don't be confused with tubeless. It does have a tube, but as you'll see, it doesn't have a standard clincher or tubeless arrangement there. It just has a, you can see it's got a very sort of shallow curve across there. And you're thinking, how the hell does an inner tube and a tyre stay in there? Well, we have seen these on the show before. So there it is. The tube is actually stitched inside. So if you remember the cyclocross wheels we did, it's one of those. It's the same as that. So this has been sat there overnight just with probably about 40-50 psi in it, just to stretch it out, get it almost in its shape. Right, these can sometimes be a little bit tricky. Now, if you notice, the tyres have always got a natural bias. When you inflate them, they will always kick the tube off to one, the inner tube off to one, the filler valve stem off to one side. So always try and make sure that you put it into here, because these are an absolute pig to inflate. Right, we will know fairly quickly whether we've got a cat in hell's chance of getting this on. I think we might be all right. So we're going to just do a trial fit first. Just check it is the right size. You do have to stretch these as you're bringing it round. And we'll know, because we'll not be anywhere close to getting it on. I think this is going to go. Yes, they do there is a slightly smaller size, so you do need to be careful when you're buying these. Don't buy the 650 by accident. Yeah, this is fine. Oh, in fact, that's quite a decent fit. Right, so if I just inflated that on, yeah, you probably could ride it and you probably could be okay, but if you went round any corner at any kind of speed, that's just going to peel off and roll off. So we need to glue this on here. So these are slightly different to the cyclocross wheels in that these don't take as much hammer on laterally as the cyclocross do. The problem you've got with cyclocross is you're running generally lower pressures, which means the structural integrity of the sidewall is compromised slightly, because it has a tendency, because it's soft thing, that the whole tyre can roll over more. And it's bad weather conditions and stuff like that. So, but these, because they run at a very high pressure, so you can run these up to like 120, 125 psi if you want. I think most people run about 115. I used to run about 115, 120 when I ran them. Because you're basically not bothered about comfort. You're on a TT bike. They're not renowned for comfort. That's the least of your worries, is your tyre pressures. You want it as fast as possible. That's the whole point of using tubs. They are inherently fast. They've got a very low rolling contact resistance, very small contact patch, very aerodynamic profile. So because the tyres are very highly inflated, they're less likely to roll over. So you don't need the belt and braces. So if you remember, we glued and taped and applied loads and loads and loads of layers and shit like that. You don't need to do that. You can just tape, but because it's a fresh tyre, and I have got the glue, I will apply a priming layer to the tyre itself. All I've got to do is just make sure the rim is clean. So we'll get this tyre off, we will prime up the inner tube, and then we will just get a bit of acetone on and just make sure that's completely clean and free of any grease or anything like that, and then we should be good to go. Nice wheels, these. Right, so this is my go-to. Tried and tested several different ones. You buy a big box of it and big tube of stuff, or a big pot of stuff, and it just goes off. So these are individual little tubes. There should be enough in here to do 2 cyclocross tyres, so we're probably going to burn off a whole tube on there. So there's probably about 2 or 3 quid's worth there. but it's enough just to prime this up, because you can see this is just the tape that covers over the stitching. Actually, it does feel like it's been primed. No, we don't need to do it. They aren't always primed, but this one I can feel has got a rubbery texture on it, so they have primed it, so I don't need to prime it. Happy days. Well done, Specialized. I had the Vittora ones last time, and I don't think they were primed, and I had to prime them for my my tub wheels, which I've actually sold now. But no, that's good news. That saved us a job. We can just crack on with the thing, which is good, because I'm running out of paintbrushes as well. But anyway, normally if it's not, smear a thin line of glue off from there. It's just contact adhesive basically. So it's a rubber based contact adhesive. It's the same stuff that the Black Witch, except Black Witch is just this with black colouring in it to match your wetsuits. It is just a rubber based contact adhesive. It's the same stuff as very similar compound to what you use to glue your patches on your tyres. So if you are desperate and you've got a couple of tubes of that, you can use that, run it around. It's just to seal the cotton webbing strip that they use to put around there. If you are grass tracking, right, and you are running these at slightly lower pressures, because I know we still have a very good grass track league, and you'll be running normal road tyres, and you won't be running knobblies on a grass track, because they're generally, it's in the summer, it's rock hard, you only race when it's dry. You do get more, you have to run at slightly lower pressures, and you will get that rolling effect. We used to gaffer tape over the top in places as well to try and hold them on, but you might have to glue and tape with those, but for road usage you will be fine just to tape. This is the stuff to use, the Velox stuff. So it's Yantex 14, that's important. Don't get the other one that's about half or a third of the price of this, because that's only suitable for aluminium. Right, this is designed so that you can get it off a carbon rim without pulling the gel coat off the rim. Somebody had used the wrong tape on those ones that I had, and I had to re-gel coat the rim because it had got pulled off. So it's just not worth it. Just buy this, pay the extra. They're charging you more because it's tubular. It's just a slightly different compound in the glue on one side, so it doesn't. I don't know how it works, but basically it's supposed to release from the gel coat better. All right, I just need a pair of scissors. Blooming heck, this stuff's sticky. Right, I think, being as I've got it, that from memory, the easiest way to do this is. Bear with me, you should be able to hear me. Hopefully the sounds are working even when I'm walking around. Yep, they are, there we go. Right, we will use this. Just chuck that out of the way, we don't need that. It just makes life easier for sticking these on. How's that not fitting? It's not bad. Just looking at that, it's actually quite straight, that. So what you do, start at the rim where the valve is, you work the way all the way round. Oh, looks like somebody's had a bit of a repair job on that. All the way round. Oh, that might have been a manufacturing hole. All the way around till you get to the other one. Right, this stuff is sticky as out. Right, let me go find the acetone. Right, so this is just normal acetone, 99.5% pure, nail varnish remover, in case you don't know. It's about the best degreaser and whatnot you can buy. The reason being is it basically just evaporates. So just get plenty on here. I think I said in a recent video, this is what we used to use as well for cleaning test equipment out when we were at school. You rub it on, it almost goes immediately, but what it does do is it fetches off any grease, but it doesn't leave any residue behind itself. So some of the other stuff will leave a film of there, whatever that chemical is on there as well. And what you want is you just want it to be absolutely clean. So make sure you're not getting your hands on there as well. He's done a really good job of this. He sat there and hand picked the old tape off. Personally, I leave it on and just retape over the top until you get such a build up, or what you can do if the tape's not too bad is just to apply a bit of the stuff over the top of the tape that's already on, you know, the glue, and then a bit on the thing, and you glue it, just surface contact it back onto the pad that's already there. But no, he's done a really good job of that. It's saved me a ton, and it's fairly clean as well. I've not got much muck off there at all. Cool. Right, let's put this on, and I'll get my scissors. Mrs., these are my scissors, not yours, before you start. Right, so what we need to do, start at the thing and work round. You need to have a little bit of pressure. You've got to try and keep it in. This is where it's hard for me to video with you and doing this, so I will move you round. Right, I didn't realise the flipping camera had not started. So what have we done here? Just me waffling on about stuff. So we've dropped a bead of this on. You run it all the way round, keeping it in the middle. And what I've been doing is just rubbing it and massaging it down my fingers. You can still see there's some bits that are lifted up. Don't worry too much about that. It's just making sure there's no big ones, there's no creases in it. Just run it all the way down, keep pushing it down. The pressure of the towel will pin it in place. So we're just going to move all the way down. You've got to try and keep it in the middle. This one's got the thin strip of webbing. If it was a aluminium one, the webbing would go all the way up to the edge. But there you go. So that's in place. You can heat this if it's cold. It's quite warm in here today, so that's not too much of a problem. But you can keep heating it with a hairdryer and get it all the way around. And that's fairly good. I don't know what set the dogs off. I was just saying I'm a bit, still a little bit tired, which is why I forgot to turn the camera on. We were doing the Team Members Dust Till Dawn race at the weekend. I wasn't racing. We were volunteering, marshalling the corner before they go out. So the Dust Till Dawn thing's really good. If you're really into that kind of thing, this one's a really good race. It wins nationally the best race of the year kind of thing every year when they do the awards thing. There's only 300 people do it. That is because if you go any bigger than that, you have to start getting different levels of support and ambulances and stuff like that involved. So it's 300 people. Basically, it's on a 5k loop that we use at the club anyway, that goes out onto the Trans-Pennine Trail. So Team Members is in Wath near Rotherham, and it's our lake. So they're running around the lake and the Trans-Pennine Trail that runs out of the back of the clubhouse and out, and then they double back, come back. It's 5k, but it's mainly pitch black. So when it gets to sort of about 9:30, 10 o'clock, they've got to wear head torches and that, and it's dark until sort of about 4 in the morning when they can probably knock the head torches off. So it's an interesting thing. They just run as much as they can. There's no set number of laps or anything. It's purely your own personal thing. But we managed one of the stations. We did it 2 years ago, and it absolutely rained solidly for 12 hours, and we were absolutely frozen and completely piss wet through. And then Joanne went back to bed as soon as it finished in our camper van, and the roof seals had gone on the camper van, so there's water just cascading down the inside of the camper van. But luckily we know somebody who's a habitation expert, and they came the next day and dried it out, fixed all the seals. We got the dehumidifiers in there, so no damage to the camper anyway. So that's, what was that, 2 years ago, and we've had no problem since. In fact, Andrew's coming this week to do the hab check on it again, so he'll check all the seals. But we had biblical rain on Friday night and through the afternoon on Saturday, and everybody thought it was going to be a wet race again, and we were like, God, every time we volunteer it pisses it down. But no, actually it was lovely. It stopped raining just before the start of the race and started raining just after the finish of the race, so can't ask for anything better than that. Really good night out. Really enjoyed it, but it completely throws your body clock for a couple of days. Anyway, right, back to this. So what do we do now? We've got to get the tyre on now. So the reason I don't go all the way up to the tube, which is what I was saying before I realised I'd not done it, is I leave a little bit of a gap. Now they say go right up to the edge of the tube, but not so it interferes with the tube. I go slightly short, and the reason I do that is if you look, there's a crest coming up to the valve there where the plate behind where the inner tube sort of rises up, and they've taken the stitching around it and everything. So if you did it all the way up to the edge of the tube, it would lift that off, and then you wouldn't get a good bond there. So if you stop it short to where that is there, you get a good bond across there. That's fine, whereas it could end up bonding back to there, and it's not going to roll off at that point there because the tube's there. So it's just a little my preference, you know, but you know, you can or you can't follow it. Again, take note which way this is going, because that's going to go in like that. We need to let this down now and put it on the tyre, and you're going to go, well, how do you stop it from sticking? You don't, you've just got to be really careful. Well, there's a trick to this. So what you do is you get a bit of the plastic to come off. So it's plastic coating, and you've got to pick it, and this is really sticky stuff. It's sticking to its own coating. So normally the stuff you use doesn't do this. All right, so that goes around there. Now, another tip and trick. So this is something I've been doing these since I were a kid, to be honest. So I haven't got any sellotape. I thought I got a bit of sellotape. We might have a bit here. Oh, we have got a bit here, right. Sellotape, electrical tape, whatever. Just get a bit of that. Tape that down there, right. And you need enough to be able to pull it, so make sure you've got enough, right. And then just stick some tape over the top of it and hold it in place. This stops you accidentally catching it. Now, you're going, what is he doing? Some of you probably worked it out anyway. But I've been doing this method since I was a kid. This is how I used to do it then. Interestingly, I had to work all this out myself because people didn't have tubs, and there weren't that many people, you know, that, you know, you were either 700C or you were tubs back in the day. They were really popular, but you know, there was no internet or anything. You had to rely on people, and there weren't that many people at the club I was riding at that were riding tubs that I rode with regularly or knew. You know, when you're a kid, you don't want to be asking, you know, old chaps how you do wheels, because they just take, you know, in them days they just take piss out of you. So I worked all this like out myself, basically. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to let the air out of this now. Drop it onto there, and then we're going to stick the tyre on all the way round, get it nice and centred, put a little bit of air in it, and then we're going to slide those out from underneath. Easy peasy. Actually see the red light. I can do with a big red light on the front. Right, cogs on this side, tapes are on that side. Tendency again, watch that, the tube's going out that way, so make sure you put it on there. This is the only time you've got to be careful, because now we've got sticky exposed. Right, just be careful on the car if you've got carpets and things as well, because the edge of this is tacky. So I've got it on a laminate floor. Oops, put it on the wrong way around. So the recessed hole is on this side for doing the valve, so the valve needs to be pointing this way. All right, and then just drop it in, but you've got to make sure that you get it so that the white is about even, or as near as you can get to even. Alright, we'll go with that, and then we will start feeding this on, and then we will wriggle it around and centre it up before we pull the release stuff off. So I will try and keep it as even as I can. So what you're looking for is the white tape. The white tape should hang out evenly all the way round and be roughly the same on both sides. Now you can't guarantee that, because sometimes the way they've manufactured it, depending on how good they are, they might have offset the white tape slightly. But once you've got it where you think it's right, inflate it, and then just check that you're happy with where the tread pattern sits, because once you've pulled them strips off, you are not moving it. Now this should slide quite nicely. Don't try not to roll this over the top. Right. Right, let's have a look. So I'm going to find out where the inner tube is. Have a look at that one. Right, so we've got a lot more of the white showing on this side. So I'm just going to wriggle it round now. Try and get less of the white showing on this side. You're going to be limited to what you can do with that, particularly these cutouts, because the hole's in the centre, but like I said, the valve needs to angle, or you can't blow it up. We might have to put an extender on that as well for him. You can get some fairly short extenders because they generally only sell these in short stems, because these are hard enough to get to anyway. So what you can also do as well is put tyre slime in these, so that if you do get a puncture, they will self-heal. So I will ask James if he wants some in. I doubt whether he will actually, to be honest. So I'm just trying to get it so it looks the same all the way around. It's kind of a, you roll it kind of effect, because the tyre's not pumped up. It does make this slightly more difficult. Right. So we'll just have a look at the other side. Right, what we'll do now is we'll just give it a quick test pump up. This is where we find out you can't get this in. You can't get that in. So I'm not going to be able to blow this up anyway, because I can't get that on there. Actually, I probably can. So we'll improvise. So if we take, that's gone. So I should be able to screw this onto here. Don't know if there's any air in this. Oh, there is. Cool. So luckily there was enough air in that. Don't fully charge this on these. You just need probably about 60 psi in the thing. I've got some, obviously left it charged up. I don't normally. It's not like that. It's squishy. It's probably up to about 30 psi, if that. So now all I've got to do is just check we're somewhere near with the alignment. Now the tyre's inflated and I can see it. So we've probably got about 3 mil there. We've probably got about 2 mil there. So it does need rolling round slightly. It's not much, literally just a little squeeze and a roll. Squeeze and a roll. Let's look at the other side. So we've gone a little bit too far on this one. Check the other side. I think that's pretty good. All right. Final check. Just make sure that there's no great wobbles or anything in there. Right, so the only jump we've got is where the valve is. So we'll just that round. So I'm just going to try and centre up the tread. That's pretty good. So all I'm doing is just watching to make sure the tread is the tread pattern's predominantly in the middle, and we've got the crown in the middle. Right, there you go. So we'll see. I think it's squishy enough that I might be able to get this out, so we'll give it a go. If not, we'll so just get a good hold of this and just gently pull it. Right, just be as gentle as you can. What you don't want is for it to snap, because if it snaps, it's an absolute nightmare. Right, I think we're there now. So where do we get to? We got to here, didn't we? Sorry, we had visitors in the workshop. Right, let me just let a little bit of air out of this. I'm having to pull this a bit more than I would like to. Because like I said, if this snaps in here, it's a nightmare, because you've got to take that bit of the section of the rim off and then try and get it centered, and you nearly always get on the tyre where that's happened. I was just looking at that, it looked like there was a bit more showing there, but that must have been the bit where I've worked it round to get the tread straight. You see it's bringing a little bit of the glue out with it. So just pick that up as you go, because you don't want that getting onto your braking surface. More there. Yeah, don't be tempted to go a bit too quick either, because that tends to rip it out more, because this is folding over on itself. Nearly there. There we go. Right, so what we're going to do now is give it some inflation. Get it up to its full working pressure to really push down hard on that. So we will have to use the shot cannon again. But what I'll do is I'll put it in series this time. So we pump it up on there to get it through to here. I don't think there's any way of me taking that off and attaching it to there. It's just one of the it's fiddly. It is on now. No, it's not. Come on. I might have a look, see if I've got an extender I can lend him, give him. So what we're doing is we're just pumping up straight through the chamber, so it's going into here and then into there. So it's going up nicely now. Right. We're a rate knot here. because I'm trying to get it so that you can see everything that's going on. Right, that's better. Now it's going to be a bit funny because it's going through the air shot as well, but ultimately pressure's pressure, so it's the same pressure regardless of the fact you're pumping up a bigger volume. It just means I'm going to have to do more work because I'm pressurising the cylinder as well at the same time. So we'll take it up to about 100 psi, that should be enough. But you don't want to leave these fully inflated. Alright, we'll put a bit more in, just because we'll lose some unscrewing this. Alright, let's just shut that off. No, we don't unscrew the valve. There we go. Job's a good one. So we've got about 100 psi in there. Again, just get a quick check. I think that's pretty good. That looks fairly even. You probably can't see that. There you go, just stick the valve cap on there and we're done. I was seeing it. A bit blocked up with hay fever today. So there you go, you can see that. It's got a nice angle on it. You can get the thing in there, you just can't get your... I can't get my pump on there, so I'm assuming he knows what that's like. If he wants that longer, I've got an adapter that will take it to about there, but you still wouldn't get the you won't get the Park Tool inflator on there. You won't get behind there. You need I think you can buy a little extension piece for your inflators to bridge across there. Some of them do have a little bendy bit. A tyre shocker would do it, a CO2 canister would do it, but that's it. And if you notice, the little jump there's gone out of it now because that's now pushed that firmly into there, and because we had that tape short, it can get it nice and deep. So there you go. I might have a look at some of these. Wouldn't mind putting a solid wheel on the Propel just for a laugh, because we've got a decent sized. We've got a, what is it, a 42 on the front and a 56 on the back, 65 on the back and a 42 on the front. Yeah, something like that. It'd be quite nice with one of these. Because the Propel's almost a TT bike anyway. It's just not got that the bigger frame sections, but it is an aero bike anyway. Right, cool. There you go. So if you want to see more content like this, like and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. We are trying to build the channel. Any comments or anything you'd like to see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's only a 10 speed. Interesting. He's finding quite a lot of that actually. The people are riding 10 speed TT bikes. Weird. Market was flooded with Planet X sets at one point, and they were all 10 speeds. So I'm guessing a lot of people have upgraded the frames and things, are taking the group sets off them as well. Anywho, right, job's a good one. That's how you do a tubular tyre on a rather nice carbon disc wheel. There you go. Hope that was useful. Job's a good one. Press the button this time.